Technically speaking.
Welcome to our Technically Untechnical Technology Talk,
a NIWC Atlantic production.
Hello, I'm Chelsie, the NIWC Atlantic audiovisual specialist, social media manager, and a fierce competitor. I love playing games with friends and family, and I'm not shy about trying to win.
And I'm Alex, part of the media engagement team, and I also enjoy playing games. Chelsie, what games do you like to play?
Oh, we play Rummy, Scrabble, and then around Thanksgiving, we get together and we play two-hand touch football. That always makes for a good time. And yeah, I play to win. What about you?
I do too. I also like playing Scrabble, and have you gotten into Wordle yet?
No, not yet.
Well, definitely check that out one day.
I will. And you know, Alex, it is said that competition is the root of progress. And that's why we try to encourage healthy competition within the workforce here at NIWC Atlantic. And one way was over this past summer when we had a command-wide mission innovation challenge, where teams were tasked to collaborate with a military advisor on a fictional scenario that strengthened their real-world skills.
That's right. And to talk about that, we've got Mike Johnson, Mike Sundberg, and Navy Senior Chief Alex Levitov all joining us today. They will explain their part in the challenge and how the unique military and civilian collaboration enhanced our workforce capabilities. So get comfy, turn up that volume, and let's get started.
Hi, this is Mike Johnson. I am the Software Defined Radio Solutions IPT lead.
My name is Mike Sundberg. I'm a Cryptologic Carry-On Program product owner with NIWC Atlantic.
Hey, good morning. I'm Senior Chief Levitov from NIWC Atlantic. I was their Senior Enlisted Advisor, and I work in ES Department for the APG as their team lead.
Great. So you all had a part in the most recent command-wide Mission Innovation Challenge. Senior Levitov, you are currently in the Navy and served as a military advisor to the winning team, which is Team Hotel, who, Mike S., you were a member, and you are not only a part of our NIWC Atlantic civilian workforce, but you are also a veteran. And Mike J., you had a large part in organizing the entire challenge. Did I get that right? Is that how you all are involved?
That is correct.
That's correct.
Oh, great. So to start, Mike J., can you kind of briefly describe what the Mission Innovation Challenge is and like the process of it?
Sure. So the Mission Innovation Challenge was a product of, at least a half a dozen brainstorming sessions amongst the leadership of the Communications and Networks competency. You know, we really wanted to build a challenge that brought people together, even though this is a very predominantly civilian workforce that we have here at NIWC Atlantic. We really wanted to integrate our military members into the teams to bring that mission mindset and to improve the connectedness on their end as well.
Mike J., where did the idea for a Mission Innovation Challenge originate, and what were the objectives that you were trying to achieve?
So the idea originated out of several brainstorming sessions, and so after lots of ideas and back and forth amongst the leadership folks, the Mission Innovation Challenge was born, and the objectives we were trying to hit, were really aligned well with the NAVWAR strategic vector, that improved connectedness, that reimagining of naval power, and the improved mission mindset.
So Mike S., your team was announced the winner. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
How many other teams competed, and what was your team's idea? Like, how did you win?
My best guess on how many other teams competed, I believe, was half a dozen.
It was about 5. Yeah, yep. If I remember correctly, 5 or 6.
Yep. And then our approach was looking at this through as realistic of a lens as we possibly could, given our kind of disparate degrees of experience, and both in the NIWC side of things as well as general life experience. And in my case, my military experience is something I leveraged pretty heavily. We really did collaborate and met on a regular basis to identify the problems, and in some cases more than others, have a pretty spirited debate on how best to meet the objective.
Let's paint this picture here a little bit. So NIWC Atlantic has created this challenge to kind of encourage employees, our workforce, to work together and solve some, is it hypothetical problems that you had to kind of put your minds together on? And like, were you given this type of military style mission that you had to solve a problem for? That's kind of what I want to paint the picture here. The three of you, tell me what we're looking at here.
You're at 95% correct there with the description. The scenario was anything but hypothetical. I mean, to make a long story short, the scenario was we have a friendly country adjacent to a hostile country where there are known hostile forces within the friendly country, and in the mix there, we've got a non-governmental organization. I believe it was 10 members of that organization who have gone missing and are at risk of compromise and potential torture and damage and destruction from the hostile forces. And our goal was to utilize NIWC capabilities as well as some others and get a little creative to find a way to get them out on a 96-hour timeline.
Yeah, to add on to what Mike said, the mission was a fictional one, but it was oriented around EABO principles, Expeditionary Advanced Based Operation principles. And so, like Mike said, it's you brought your creativity, you brought your ingenuity, you brought your boldness, and your feasibility, into this, and you built a mission plan that met the objectives, met the feasibility, and met the innovation objectives of the challenge. It was a fictional vignette. That there were elements of realism in it that produced what we thought was very positive output.
Mike asked, how did your team innovate their solution? Like, what was it?
We took a multi-tiered approach. So we started with essentially what amounted to utilizing human sources. So engaging with known friendly assets in the country to find out if, hypothetically, person X knows if person Y is located in this location. We took that approach and then progressively became, like I said, more invasive into the battle space with, starting with unmanned capabilities to include unmanned surface equipment as well as unmanned air systems.
Okay, so you were kind of using some of the NIWC capabilities that you included in your solution was, in the not so technical term, are like drones, which is great.
Yeah, one of the key features of this challenge was that we really wanted the teams to get after integrating not just our program of record systems, but also the lower TRL systems that our S&T folks are building and evolving. And so we wanted...
What is lower TRL? What is that?
Lower TRL is technology readiness level. It's a spectrum of technology readiness from 1 to 10 that describes the evolution of, from an idea or a concept all the way to the implementation into a warfighter product.
Okay.
So we wanted those lower TRL, those science and technology systems that are still being developed in the labs, and we wanted folks to conceptually integrate them with our program of record systems, things that we're already using, our senior Levitov is already using. And so we wanted folks to integrate those in creative and innovative ways, and that was one of the elements of the rubric in the scoring.
While I was active duty, I worked in the special operations community, and as such, we were kind of the test bed for a lot of the new hotness, as it's called. At one of these exercises, I remember very vividly, I'm in full body armor and a wetsuit with all my teammates, and there's this guy hopping on this boat with his polo shirt, and he's got this I guess it was an antenna, and it looked like something out of the board game Mousetrap, and it was just held together with paper clips and bubble gum. And I'm looking back on it now, it was a cryo antenna, but I'll never forget it. This guy turned around and said, "There's no way this is going to get wet, right? Like,
no.
Are you serious?" But to speak to Mike J's point on the lower TRL and stuff, the good ideas turn into what ultimately becomes, battle-proof, bulletproof, waterproof, and stress-proof. So this Mission Innovation Challenge was something I was really excited to take part in and kind of see the other end of that.
You could see the other end from the civilian side?
Yeah. In my case, I think it's very valid experience on either side where, the big brains that I don't have, I can counteract that, not necessarily counteract, but collaborate in a meaningful way with that from looking at it from a perspective of, hey, is this something that's actually going to work? Because as Mike mentioned, we're not just created for innovation, it's also feasibility.
Can you all describe your experiences working together from the two different perspectives, combined active duty and civilian? How was that, and what was the value in that? We'll start with Senior Levitov.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I'm an aviation background sailor to begin with. So IT and technological stuff is kind of outside of our wheelhouse because we fix airplanes and we get them to where we need to go. So, looking at the big picture, my thoughts are, what can I bring to the team? And I think one of the big things that I ended up helping Mike especially with was just some leadership tactics. How do you get a group of people that are busy, that have life going on and all these other things to focus and turn in their portions so Mike can wrap this up and put it together as a whole package. We collaborated quite a bit of how do you motivate people to turn in their portion, and how do you get that onto the paper and stuff like that. As far as technical expertise, I don't think I provided Mike S. with much of that other than just tactics on how to lead a big group and point him in the direction that he was over what he wanted to see as his vision.
Well, that's interesting. That's a new layer of value that you've brought up. So not only were you learning, when it comes to military and civilian collaboration on technology and problem solving, but also on leadership styles.
Yeah, absolutely. In the Navy, we're in charge of a lot of things that may be in our scope or outside of our scope, but at the end of the day, we're responsible to find a way to accomplish the task. And, you take the best out of each person and utilize that.
I can second Senior's statement in that I had the vantage across all the teams as one of the organizers of this. And what distinguished Team Hotel with Senior and Mike here, I could tell was that they knew their marching orders. They each had their tasks. They all contributed, collaborated well. It was a really a high energy, organic team.
I'm sure during this challenge, it might have been Team Hotel, it might have been other teams, but if there's both civilian and military working together to solve a military problem, there were probably differences in opinion. How did you overcome possible different perspectives and opinions on how to solve a problem?
So from the military side, I didn't look at it as a problem. I always look at what the solution is. And again, I don't have the technical expertise to provide to them as a direction or which way we should go. I think, again, the job for the military side or for mine was to provide that leadership aspect of how to deconflict, how to keep people on target, set goals every couple days, every week, and to maintain those goals. So I think Mike S. did a really good job of communicating to everybody what he wanted, when he wanted it. And, they met regularly, and that was another big portion of their success, when they can communicate and, that feedback of this is what I'm looking for. I need more of this, less of that. And I think that is what set our team apart from others, is just that leadership piece and the collaboration on such a high scale or so frequently.
I 100% agree. With my military background and kind of with a foot in the civilian side of things, I am a big believer in, productive conflict is how you make brilliance. And I think what we really kind of shined is we took meaningful steps to identify our individual strengths.
I love what you said, that productive conflict leads to brilliance.
Thank you.
I believe that was perfect. So it was great hearing about all of these unique challenges and this type of competitive drive we have within this command to kind of produce all these benefits. Is there anything else any of you would like to share?
This was a very high-performing team, and there were other examples of high-performing teams, but there were also examples of a few teams that organic leadership didn't manifest, and so the results were less than stellar.
And to that, I'll add that the kind of latent effect of this whole thing is that we all learn a little bit more about mission planning, but the cohesion between military and civilian and emphasizing kind of the military and operational empathy within the command. And I think it's important to underscore that, yes, this is a command. Our customer is the military. When I was active duty and pulling long hours and living in not great living conditions overseas and stuff, I took some solace in the knowledge that there's some big brains somewhere that are, working in cubicles that are trying to make me more lethal and my teammates more lethal and improve our survivability using some sort of innovative means. And I believe that from the civilian side, we need to reinforce that you are part of a cog in this massive wheel that is furthering the effort. Whether we're still in the GWOT or not, there are still military operations going on.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you all for sharing your insights and for coming on the podcast with us. And we're looking forward to the next challenge.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity of working a little bit more with NIWC and seeing a more technical view. I really appreciate that opportunity.
Alex, when I heard about this challenge, I knew our workforce would learn from each other as far as developing better technology, but what I didn't expect is the collaboration and advice sharing when it came to leadership.
I agree, and I think there was something to be said about having veterans on the team. They seem to help bridge the gap between military and civilian mindsets.
Exactly, and that's why NIWC Atlantic is so supportive and focused on hiring veterans within the workforce. I'm a veteran myself. I served a combined 8 years in the Air Force, active duty, and the reserves. And our sound tech, Joe Bullinger, who is behind the scenes of this podcast, is also a veteran. Say hi, Joe.
Hi, 22 years Navy.
You two are part of many. The NIWC Atlantic workforce is made up of nearly 2,000 veterans, and that's about 41% of the team here.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize it was 41%. That's a lot.
That is, and thank you all for your service.
Well, thanks for the support. And with that, it is time to wrap up this episode. As always, for the latest news and events at NIWC Atlantic, check out our social medias under NavWar or our NIWC Atlantic website. Links are in the description.
We appreciate you for listening, and tune in next time. If you have a tip or story that you think should be included in this podcast, please contact us at our public affairs email address, which is listed in the description.
Naval Information Warfare Center Atlantic, also known as NIWC, is the East Coast branch of the Naval Information Warfare Systems Command within the Department of the Navy. We develop a range of technologies that provide state-of-the-art capabilities to the United States military.